Hello everyone, thanks for tuning in. Weather's not ideal, but the ride was okay. And yeah, gotta get changed now, right? Today we are talking Ironman training. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Dan. I live in London, but I was originally born in Germany. I do travel a lot, and whenever I travel, I swim, bike and run. And you can see that in all the vlogs that I've put online so far. So the Ironman I signed up for is Ironman Hamburg in Germany, which is gonna be in August the 13th. And by the time I'm filming this, it's 10 weeks to race day. I'm 14 weeks into my training plan, but this is what we're gonna talk about. I've got my computer here. I'm gonna show you how I picked my training plan, the tools I'm using, and yeah, also what I struggled with and what went really good or just bad. And hopefully a couple of things are gonna be of value for you guys. But guys, before we go into numbers, I want to put a disclaimer out here. All the numbers that we're going to talk about are obviously based on my performances. And I know when we look at numbers, we often compare ourselves like to other athletes. I personally, and it's a very important message to you guys, don't think that's a healthy way to do it. If you did the same training plan that I did, I'm going to share with you, you very likely going to have completely different experiences. We all have different physical abilities. We don't start like at the same point in time. You've done other races before that. If you want to kind of like relate, I'm gonna share here another video that I put out where you see like what I've done leading up to the training for my first Ironman, which is very important. So the first thing I want to talk about is the training plan that I picked. Do you need a training plan? Not everyone needs one, but especially given that this is my first Ironman, it just gave me a bit more confidence and helped me relax a little bit more, so that I knew, you know, if I stick to the plan, I'm definitely gonna be fine. Hopefully, the race hasn't happened yet. So as you can see on the screen that I'm showing you here, the training plan that I picked is one from Matt Fitzgerald. It's a 24 weeks program, and in a nutshell, you can read it over here. This plan is a good fit if you want to prepare for an Ironman on a time-efficient schedule of 9 workouts per week, but you are prepared to handle 9 fairly challenging workouts. How did I pick that one? Matt Fitzgerald has like different levels. I think the level 3 is gonna help you finish the Ironman in 12 hours. And that kind of like felt like my first reasonable as a first target for me. Those training plans you need to buy. They're like $84 and you can import them into TrainingPeaks, and that's the software I'm gonna go into right in a second. You don't necessarily need to use TrainingPeaks or any software. You can also follow his plan. He's got a book which you can buy, which I'm gonna link over here, and then you just follow it. But I love numbers and I love computer software. I work in IT, so a bit geeky here. And I'm gonna show you how that looks in TrainingPeaks when you import one of those training plans. So what you can see next on the screen is Matt's training plan, how you import it, and what you need to do when you download it and import it. By the way, TrainingPeaks is on a web page as a mobile app as well, but I do prefer the web page. And what you do over here, you can pick your start or your end date, which is going to be important because it's a 24 weeks program. And yeah, you see like my training plan started like on the in April, and yeah, so that I make sure that I peak, and that's what TrainingPeaks is all about. I peak on August the 13th. That's how easy it is. And once you've got that imported, you're gonna see, and I'm gonna scroll through that, I'm gonna go into a bit more details any minute. Then you see like all these training data here that you need to do. If we go into week 2, for instance, over here, you see there's different colors. Green means you have successfully completed your training unit. Here's like a bike unit or a swim. What's important on that training plan is there's always going to be like one rest day. I mean, again, I said it at the beginning, 9 fairly challenging workouts. The majority shifted like on weekends, the long ones. But always, and I find that really important, not just physically, but also mentally, that there's one rest day in it. Yeah, so yellow is if you over or underachieve by 10%. And red, I'm sure I'm gonna find some red ones over here as well, is if you haven't done the workout or if you missed out on one. But let's go one step back and look at the ATP section of TrainingPeaks, which gives you a perfect overview over your training throughout the year. And what you can do like in this ATP is you set like your A race, your B race and your C race, and you can see there's actually 3 on it. You see the Ironman event in August, and I have got a half Ironman planned for June, which is the B race, which is actually coming up in a couple of weeks. And the C race, which was Gothenburg half marathon. And over here, I want to use that screen to show you the main thing about that training workout. So that it's a 24-week plan. And again, I've done 14 weeks, and it consists of, you can see that over here, 2 base blocks, 2 build blocks, and then the peak. And the last bit is like the race. That's a common training methodology in triathlon training, that you start off like with your base blocks where you work on your aerobic endurance. The build is a bit more intense, and the peak is really where you up the volume and intensity. And the main target is, as you can see here, you're like at the top here, like for me, mid-July, and then you reduce the intensity so that your form factor, your tiredness goes down. You lose a little bit of fitness because your training intensity goes down, but you want to be at the best at Ironman Hamburg in my case. And it doesn't mean you train all the way full throttle, you know, and that peak is over here. You have to have that taper phase over here. And every little block consists of, and that's Matt's methodology, and most other training plans follow that as well, consists of your 4-week blocks. And it's always kind of like structure that you increase the load from week 1 to week 3, and then you have week 4 as a bit of a recovery week where your body just absorbs all the training. And this is what a lot of people say, this is where you grow and where you get better. So TrainingStressScore is used by TrainingPeaks to measure how stressful your workout was. And there's different levels here, different training score measurements. Like there's a TSS, which uses like the real power. That kind of like works really well like for the bike if you have a power meter or an indoor trainer. For running, the running TSS, it's called RTSS, uses the heart rate data, but it's all explained over here. And then the swim training stress score as well, you see heart rate training stress score. So it's different ways how they're calculated. The most accurate one is if you have real power, and then you get a good number. But let's look at the last week, and I can show you how that relates. So this is the data for my latest week, build 2, week number 2. And as you can see on the right hand side, this is the total duration. You've got total duration. I was supposed to do 14 hours, I only did 12:42. You see why that didn't happen. It's actually mainly, this is the same issue about the brick workout merge that I mentioned earlier. It also helped to set goals. I didn't manage to reach my 169 racing weight. Boo. I weigh 174 or 73. Anyway, and yeah, the reason why I didn't manage it, you see, it was planned a 4-hour ride, and today I only did like a 2:17. But there was a reason, guys, because I did an amazing ride with Dave this morning, and the park was closed where I normally ride in London because of a 10-mile race, so the roads were blocked. Anyway, you see the total duration, the total TSS that I did, like 966, it only shows 200 as planned here because all the other ones, they don't list it as planned in the workouts. Here's the swim that I did, the swim distance, bike duration, run duration, and brick duration. So if we look like at a specific workout over here, you can click on that one. Let's just look like at this run that I did over here at the beginning of the week. You see like the planned run 50 minutes, I did like 52 minutes. And over here you see like the TSS score, which was like 105, and that's a RTSS. Linking back like to the training stress scores explained. You can get way more details if you click like on the analyze over here in TrainingPeaks. I was actually running like in Frankfurt. It was a super hot day, very tough run, so my heart rate was going a little bit nuts, and there's a lot of data that you can analyze here with TrainingPeaks. But again, like the core thing is, I managed to do, I did get, and that's the important thing, like for that one, 105 TSS. And you see over here, if you compare like the 105 TSS like with a 1 hour 45 minute bike ride, I did get 115 TSS for the bike ride over here. And if you want to look at the swim, I did a long swim over here. For the swim, you see, and it uses the STSS, I did get 94.3 for a 1 hour swim that I did over here. And if we look at this summary tab over here, you see 3 very important values: fitness, fatigue, and form. And the fitness is like a CTL level. And if I jump over here, here's the explanation. This is like the weighted average of your last 40 days of training stress scores. So it looks at the last 40 days and takes the average. So if we go back like to that training plan, I obviously like on that given day, I did, how many was that? I did 105 TSS. So I kind of like averaged over the last 2 days. I averaged like a, I've got a weighted average like of 110 of CTL. And if I go like to the home section over here, this is where it gets interesting, because I set a target for Ironman Hamburg, which is 110 CTL, which you could say, look, today, this is how I'm planning to get there. I'm way above target, which is awesome. But as you can see, I don't know what, you know, I can't see myself going crazy like that, but you're gonna get at a peak over here and then you're gonna go down. So I expect to be here like at a planned CTL of 120 and then taper down so that I'm gonna be like at 110 over here. And yeah, this is really great to keep like your target always in your mind. But also I'm gonna talk about like the things that are quite challenging. Like you get so addicted like to numbers, and if you're gonna like, oh my god, having like a CTL of 110 means, yeah, every day you have to do a TSS of 110 or even more. So it gets quite challenging, and one workout is normally not enough. As you can see, like in this week, I did like 960. So in this week, divide that by 7 and you get like the average of TSS. And then also have to keep in mind there's a rest day where you get nothing. So you see a lot of 2 workout days and per day sessions. Anyway, this is the fitness value explained. And then, which is great, which is one of the great things about TrainingPeaks as well, it gives you like a fatigue level. And that is super important, and the form. And the form actually is, it looks at your fitness and the fatigue, and you should be like at a positive number here. Like the goal is, if we look at the dashboard over here, you see this is where I'm at the moment, right? Like with the 110 CTL, I'm super tired, and this is why my form is bad. But in the end, if I, as you can see here, this is a last 90 days and next 21 days. If I stopped training right now, like my form would go up, but obviously my CTL would go down by, if you look at the next 21 days, on the 25th it would be at 76, but my form would be really great. So people need to figure out, you know, at what value like their form needs to be. But this software tells you like today, while I'm filming that, like a fatigue level of 143 is crazy. Like I'm feeling very tired, and it's not a good place like for racing. Alright, couple of lessons learned. If we look at the ATP again, what went really well is that I have completed the majority of my training units, and at least I was proper like in plan on my TSS values, which you can see over here. For the majority of the weeks I was above the target, which you can also nicely see if you look at that chart over here. I am on track for that 110 CTL that I set myself for Hamburg, which again, don't really know what that relates to in time, but it gives me confidence and it relaxes me that, you know, I'd be at the best possible shape that I can be given the effort that I can put in. But yeah, my experience levels so far and other lessons learned were that it's quite challenging, that training plan, and I do work full-time, so trying to squeeze in like between 7 and now it's gonna get like up to 15-16 hours is tough, especially like with a relationship where I see my wife mostly on weekends and a lot of workouts are planned for the weekend. That makes it tricky. Traveling as well for work, but if you look at all the other vlogs that I've put together, where there's a will, there's a way. Glass is always half full. Hashtag Dan's life is all of you. Anyway, other than that, I've been okay when it comes like to physical condition. Never had like a massive cold or anything like that, but a blocked nose for I feel like the last 10 weeks. I don't know whether that was hay fever, spring here in Europe. But yeah, I think there were highlights. The first open water swim is always great. You know, when you shift like from the long pool or the pool sessions and you can go open water. Here is a link that I'm gonna show you of the place that I normally go to in London. And another highlight is, and it's probably the best of my 14 weeks so far, is that as my bike showed up finally. And with that being said, so I got a new TT bike that I've ordered, also a couple of videos on my vlog. With that being said, I am probably gonna say goodbye to you. I hope that video was helpful. The next video is all gonna be about my TT bike. I hope that stuff was helpful for you. Got an insight on how my training went, what's okay and what was tough, and inspired you to do one. Let me know in the comments what you're training for, what you're up to at the moment. I love to read the comments, and till the next video, I thank you and you have a fantastic day, everyone. Bye bye. No guys, guess what just happened? This wall that I was filming, it just fell down, and a lot of my fridge magnets are kind of like okay. There's one, check this out. This is really bad. Is this a bad sign? Oh my god. Oh my god. If that race is not going well, we know what the reason was. But I had good intentions, you know.